Hey, normally I would show my face for this sort of thing, but as I'm sure you can tell by my voice, I'm very sick right now. I have a sinus infection and I think two ear infections, like one in each ear. I'm fine, by the way, I'm on antibiotics, but that's why I sound like shit. And I'm sure I also look like shit, and I don't feel like getting pretty-ish for the camera, so I'm just gonna talk to a dark screen. Apologies about that. But, um, I recently passed 3.5 thousand subscribers. Sorry, I have a cough drop in my mouth, so if my voice also sounds lispy, that's why. I recently passed 3.5 thousand subscribers here on YouTube, which, is cool. To be honest, nowadays I don't really pay attention to the numbers, and I don't mean that in a oh, they mean nothing to me type of way. I appreciate that people like and look at my stuff, and I always do my best to reply to comments, unless they're, just not worth replying to, like a silly, generic hate comment. But for the most part, I reply to comments, and I am aware when, like, a specific video does well. But for the most part, I don't pay a lot of attention to the numbers anymore, because this isn't my life's passion. It's exciting because I started this channel when I was like 8 years old. I'm 17 and a half now, so almost a decade. Uh, Actually, coming up on a decade next year in August. Yeah. Um, so, anyways, I've had this channel for almost a decade. It's exciting when you're like an 8-year-old kid and you're like, man, I got 20 views on this video as opposed to the last one, you know? Um, and it still is nice to see certain videos performing well, even though the numbers are bigger now. And as a kid, it's like, I'm gonna be a YouTuber. That's what I'm gonna do. I feel like a lot of kids in my generation had that thought, but that's not my passion. And also, the fact of the matter is, if you look at this channel, this isn't the type of YouTube channel that's ever gonna, like, quote unquote, blow up or anything, which I'm fine with. There's not a clear focus. It's just, like, all of the things. I do have, like, a few alternate channels, that I made to separate off certain types of content, for very specific things, but for the most part, all of my everything that I make that can be made into a video is on this channel. Like all my music, all my, like, recently a lot of no commentary gameplay videos, all my video essays, me a bunch of shorts and like TikToks and stuff, me yapping about my girlfriend recently. Like all this stuff is there's not a clear focus. So this isn't ever a channel that's gonna blow up and there's gonna be like millions of people following it. That's just not how this platform works. I'm perfectly content with that. I don't want millions and millions of people watching my every move. Do you know how stressful that sounds? I'm very content just kind of screaming into the void half the time. Um, and there are certain people who stick around and have stayed subscribed for years. I'll get comments from people. Like recently, I got a comment from somebody, and I hadn't gotten a comment from them in years. I just kind of assumed they stopped watching my content, which would be perfectly fine and valid. Again, it's not like there's ever a clear focus, at least not forever. I'm autistic, so I will hyperfixate on things, post a bunch about it for however long I'm hyperfixated on that subject, and then never talk about it again. Um, and that's the nature of this channel and how I run it. More as a archival log for a lot of things and to keep track of how my life is going rather than like I'm gonna be famous on the internet, you know? But I got this comment from somebody who I used to see a lot in like my Minecraft live streams a lot when I was like 10. And they recently commented and they're like, I'm glad you're still doing well. And I'll occasionally get comments like that where I'm like, I remember this person because they would be a frequent viewer when I was like, during a certain era. A lot of times it's when I was streaming Minecraft constantly. And that was when I was like 10, like 9, 10, 11, around that age. Earlier on my channel. But they stay subscribed. And I find that really endearing. So, I don't know, I just want to make this video kind of talking about that and thanking everybody. Those of you who have stuck around since the beginning, or since near the beginning, been around for years, haven't unsubscribed somehow. I wouldn't blame you if you did, especially since I have a tendency to randomly spam subscription boxes with like a bunch of bullshit, and then go dead for months. Or if you're new, like I put out the video essay about Nimona, the movie, recently, and I think that's what pushed the channel over the edge to 3.5. Steadily over the edge. Like, I'm not too concerned about dropping back down, because it's fairly over the edge now. So that's why I'm making this video. But that, and I also make a short about my cat, which got like a lot more views than I'm used to. So I've been getting a lot of comments for that. Thank you, by the way, to all the people who have been giving well wishes about my cat passing. It's very sweet. But yeah, like, there's people from that video who I'm sure when they subscribed probably were expecting this channel to be all like video essays. It's not. Since that, I've just pretty much, for the most part, just been posting gameplay footage. Literally, as I'm saying this, there's a YouTuber's Life, like, hour-long, no commentary gameplay video being uploaded. The reason I switched to, like, no commentary videos, by the way, is kind of what I was saying earlier, where it was like, when I was younger, I was like, I want to be a YouTuber. So I would always force myself to talk, through games. And, you know, sometimes, like, with Life is Strange and The Last of Us and stuff, it is beneficial, because I have some silly reactions, and because some of those are so story-based. But a lot of times, even back then, and I guess this also kind of draws into masking a bit, but it's also just kind of the persona online thing that every person on YouTube talks about. After like hours into some of these Minecraft streams, I would just be dead silent. I prefer, honestly, putting my full focus into a game without the pressure to talk. So that's part of why I stopped doing commentary. That's not to say I'll never do commentary videos again. Obviously, for like more story-based games, especially, I would still like to do those. But like, if I'm just playing Castle Crashers, which is just like a beat 'em up, or YouTuber's Life, which is like a basic sim game, or I'm gonna start playing a bunch of itch.io games, and I'm sure I have some funny reactions to those, but I don't want to feel pressured to react, so it's easier to just not have my microphone on. I've been recording those, and in addition to, you know, it's easier to film those, and I don't feel as pressured, and it's more fun for me that way. I don't really care if people watch them anymore. Again, that's not my passion. My passion is acting. I want to be an actor. I don't want to do YouTube as my job. I can't anyways, look at this channel. But like, you know? I don't know if I'm making sense. In addition to all of that, it's easier to log my time on how long to beat, which is silly, I guess, but like, I don't know, I like having lists of things. Again, this draws back to the autism diagnosis, but I like being able to catalog everything. This channel, if you look at some of my playlists, has always had that element of like, I'm gonna catalog everything. I have so many like random things, especially when I was younger, where it would be the title of whatever it is, and it would say number 1 at the end. Just on the off chance I ever made a follow-up to it, so that it wouldn't be confusing to people, I guess. So like, yeah, I like cataloging things. So, and it's easier. I hate timers. I feel stressed if I have like a stopwatch going on a separate device. It's easier to just film it. Plus, then if I film it, a lot of times I'll be talking with my dad about a game I'm playing. This is this is silly, I guess, but I'll be talking to my dad or like a friend or my girlfriend or something about a game I'm playing, and I'll be talking about a specific part, and I want to be able to show it. And sometimes, especially if it's a more obscure game, certain parts of certain games you can't like easily find footage of that on YouTube, but if I'm the one filming the footage and putting it on YouTube, I can just go and pull up my video and find the spot and the recording where it happened, and it's good. It's also good for the video essays and stuff, in case I ever need to use some sort of unrelated footage to dodge copyright. To just have that gameplay footage available. There's a lot of benefits to it. But primarily it's just to log my time on How Long to Beat. I mean, you can go on my How Long to Beat profile. I'm not going to link it here or anything. I think it's linked to my channel. It wouldn't be hard to find. It's just my username. I'm pretty sure, Fluffy Underpug, which I made when I was 8, by the way. Yeah, I don't know. You can go find my How Long to Beat, but, I mean, there's nothing really to it. It's just times logged for games, my backlog of games I have but haven't played yet, a bunch of games I started but never finished, what games I've completed, what games I'm currently playing. The ones I've completed have reviews for them as well, but they're not in depth at all. They're mostly just the numerical rating and then maybe like a small note. It's just for me, to be honest, to this whole channel, especially since like middle school, beginning of high school. It's just been for me. I know that sounds like selfish and self-centered. I appreciate the people who watch my videos, but, you know, I guess that's just the heart of this video, because, you know, I just passed a certain amount of subscribers. I'm thankful for the people who engage with it, because, you know, it's just me. That's all this channel is. It's just me. It's my creative outlet for a lot of stuff. So, like, even if you've been subscribed for years, but you don't necessarily watch any of the videos I put out now, the fact that you haven't unsubscribed, to me at least, feels like people care, and people like me. And I know that it's parasocial. I made a whole video about parasocial relationships. And none of you, obviously, except for the people who follow me, who know me in real life, actually know me as a person. But it feels nice to know that I'm not just screaming into the void a lot of the time. Sometimes I'm screaming into the void, but other times I'm screaming into the void, and at least 20 people are there listening to it. And I don't know. I guess that's nice to me. Yeah. I reached 3.5 thousand subscribers. It took almost 9 years to get here. If this is where it stops, I'm okay with that. Because then I'm in the void with 3.5 thousand people. And that's a lot of people to be stuck in a void with. Doesn't feel so lonely when you're in a void with over 3 grand people. So, I don't know. I appreciate those of you who stick around and those of you who are new and just anybody who has ever listened to anything I had to say. Even the people who don't like what I have to say. I appreciate knowing that my thoughts are not just falling completely on deaf ears. Sometimes I get insightful comments, and it's just nice. It's nice to not be so alone all of the time. And I'm also, I guess this is also evident in the nature of uploading schedules. I'm an extrovert. I don't like being cooped up in my room all day, talking to people into the void, as much as I love you guys. I'm an extrovert. So, it's really nice to know that there will always be people there to listen to my yapping. Yeah. I'm very sick right now. This got a little sentimental, and is also just a life update, I guess, in some ways, and also just an explanation for why I don't know why I upload the way I do, but yeah. If you make it this far in the video, I appreciate you. If you've ever gotten any amount of time into a video I made, I appreciate you. I'm really sick. I'm going to end the video now. Goodbye.